Analysis machine. What's on the docket?
Notice new Pokemon game to be released soon. Pokemon themed review would be optimal.
Ah, I hear ya. Today we're reviewing Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think you messed up on our visual.
Notice Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be traditional Pokemon adventures. It would be more appropriate to review the last traditional Pokemon entry.
We're gonna do the Arceus review today. Just roll the title card.
We all live in a Pokemon world. Pokemon!
Hey guys, this is the Reaper, and it's time once again for Reaper's review. Today we're going to be reviewing Pokemon Legends Arceus. So there are going to be spoilers throughout the review, so if you're not up for that, then you might want to skip it. Or at least skip ahead, because we're going to be going over the story first. But with that aside, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this is probably the most unique entry to the Pokemon series that we've seen in over a decade. And if you weren't convinced by the title, as soon as we start the game, you're transported to another world, but here's the kicker, you get to keep your smartphone. Yep, in another world with my smartphone. Imagine that. The game takes place in a primitive Sinnoh region, where catching and training Pokemon is a relatively new concept. And as an experienced Pokemon trainer, you're a pretty rare commodity. Your talents are quickly put to use as a researcher, negotiator, hired hand, extra muscle, and all-around problem solver. You are taken in by the Galaxy Expedition team, with a very strict condition that you continue to prove yourself useful. This is also a way to absolve yourself from suspicion. You see, you're not the only thing that fell from the mysterious rift of the sky. Mysterious beams of light have fallen on the mighty Pokemon nobles, causing them to become stronger and go into a frenzied state. Quelling the frenzied nobles is as much about clearing your name as it is about ensuring the safety of the citizens of Sinnoh. And speaking of those citizens, as we progress, we'll be teaming up with two previously warring clans, the Diamond Clan and the Pearl Clan. While we journey through the primordial Sinnoh region, we're exposed to more gaming mechanics and gimmicks, both new and old, such as Ride Pokemon, Time and Space Distortions, Alpha Pokemon, and the ever-popular regional variant. Legends Arceus certainly looks and feels more polished when compared to more recent Pokemon entries. The art style is great, and the movement seems much more liberating than the blocky restrictions Pokemon fans are likely accustomed to by now. Accessing your Pokemon is darn near seamless. Whether you're sending them out for battle, to smash some rocks, or just hang out, they're never more than a scroll or a button push away. Catching Pokemon has never been more fun. Being able to sling Pokeballs and instantly move on to the next is a great feeling. And a standing reward system for catching Pokemon, even if it's the exact same type, makes even the more repetitive Pokemon catch meaningful. The battle system has been completely overhauled. Instead of the traditional turn-based Pokemon battle format, the battle system lines up all participants by speed, making it feel more like you're playing Digimon than Pokemon at times. Because of the different format, status changes and certain moves have been altered to better complement the new style. Because of the theme of the game, battling other trainers is something of a rarity. You'll spend much more time battling wild Pokemon, including the mentioned Alpha and Frenzied Pokemon. And here is where we'll see some of the biggest departures from the franchise. Pokemon attacking trainers. In the game, society hasn't evolved to the level where people and Pokemon are living, and although some clans are raised alongside Pokemon as siblings, for most, Pokemon are seen as mysterious and terrifying creatures, and when being run down by an enraged Alpha Gyarados, it's hard to disagree. At times you'll need to take a more hands-on approach to battle, evading attacks in real time and retaliating with more unorthodox means. Now, I want to take a minute to mention what I believe are some of the game's best highlights and strong points. One of them is the age of the character. Pokémon is a franchise that is, and likely always will be, made for children. However, that doesn't change the fact that there are many Pokemon fans who have been following the franchise for well over a decade. Having an older character is a good way to kind of acknowledge that. The fact that we're playing as a character that's a little older and therefore has a little more experience means that we can handle more mature themes, such as the concept of being attacked by wild Pokemon and the possibility of being seriously injured as a result. This, along with family, belonging, mild themes of prejudice and religious conflict, are present in the game and are a lot more approachable from a more mature perspective. The setting for Pokemon Legends Arceus is also a good, strong point. The standard Pokemon format is pretty straightforward. Beat gym leaders, collect gym badges, become champion, and if there's time, stop evil organization. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. But with a franchise as old as Pokemon, you can't be afraid to think outside the box. Getting Isekai to another world with a smartphone might not be a new concept, but it is new territory for Pokemon. Being able to experience the things that we love in a new way is a good way to keep them fresh and exciting. And in Pokemon's case, we've had numerous looks into our primitive past through lore and other sources. So getting to play a game through that perspective is definitely a cool experience. I'm a big fan of the art style, especially when compared to some other recent Pokemon releases. I definitely enjoyed the seamless interaction. There have been a lot of ways to catch Pokemon over the decades, and I have to say Legends Arceus is easily the best. A lot of times I found myself catching Pokemon for no other reason than because it's fun, as it should be. I also enjoyed how easy it is to initiate and exit battle. As long as you can throw your Pokeball far enough, you can battle just about anything anywhere. I really enjoyed being able to throw my Pokeball down a cliff and have my Pokemon battle while I watch from above. And if you don't feel like fighting anymore, you can just walk away while the chump sits there waiting for your next move. Being able to toggle through ride Pokemon without opening a screen is great. And probably my favorite seamless interaction of all, the ability of your Pokemon to be able to remove obstacles and gather items at the touch of a button. No text boxes, no scrolling through menus, none of that. I mean, seriously, why are you even asking if I want to use strength? Do you think I'm admiring the dumb thing?
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
The only reason I'm even acknowledging that this rock exists is because I want it out of my way. And Pokemon Arceus delivered. Now, I can't end the highlights without talking about the final battle in the story. After coasting through the entire game, I was shocked, and I mean literally shocked, by the difficulty spike in the last battle. The format and the way the whole thing plays out definitely makes it one of the more memorable fights in Pokemon game history, in a very welcome way. Now, with all that said, let's go ahead and talk about some weaknesses in the game. Now, in truth, a lot of these low points basically boil down to what I believe are missed opportunities. However, they were bothersome enough for me to feel necessary to list them. So, here's the first. First off, I have to mention I don't think they did a great job utilizing the setting for the game. Don't get me wrong, it was very cool, but it seemed very tame. When you think about having Pokemon brought to a primitive timeline, you kind of imagine these mystical, fearsome beasts being put against each other in wild battle, perhaps clad in medieval-type armor and being ridden by trainers with weapons ready to fight right alongside them. Now, I'm not saying they have to go full total war with this game, but we know about several brutal Pokemon wars thanks to the lore, including the one that involved AZ and his Floette. Since they went through the trouble of transporting us to the past, I think it's kind of a shame that we didn't get to participate in the war between the Diamond and the Pearl clan. Even if they let us show up near the end and pick a side to help influence the outcome, that could have added a lot of flavor and dimension to the game. And now I understand the reason, but I did find the lack of trainer battles disappointing. Fighting wild Pokemon is fine, but it really just doesn't measure up to the excitement of a trainer-on-trainer battle. This is a problem that would have been solved had we been able to play a bigger role in the clash between the Diamond and the Pearl clans. But as it was, meaningful battles were just too few and far between. And on that note, I have to reiterate that the Pokemon battles were far too tame. Considering our story setting, there are no Pokemon League official rules, guidelines, or restrictions, so there's no reason why people wouldn't be trying to fight dirty. After all, we're dealing with people who were recently at war. It would have been cool to see our opponents try and distract our Pokemon by throwing rocks, using smoke screens to interfere with the battle, or maybe even take shots at us directly and just ignoring our Pokemon altogether. Having to be ready to dodge mid-battle is definitely something that would keep you on your toes and spice up our battle format a little bit. Now, I will give a nod to the fact that sometimes our opponents would send 2 or 3 Pokemon to attack us all at once. But this brings me to perhaps the biggest grievance I have with the game, and that's the battle system. Now, the battle system is definitely an interesting new look on something that we're used to, but in my opinion, I don't believe it's very well polished. There are a lot of status ailments and battle items that just seem kinda useless given the format, and the "hit it very hard" strategy seems to be at an all-time high in this game. And I've gotta say, it really bothers me that there's no double, triple, or even quadruple battling. Like I said before, there are no Pokemon League regulations, so there's no reason why we should be holding back. It's hard to justify subjecting ourselves to a 3 against 1 battle when we have 5 other able Pokemon ready to fight. This is one of the reasons I didn't enjoy this time-space rift very much. You get your attack off, and then you just sit there, waiting for every single person to slowly take their turn. And because the new battle format makes this kind of unfair, instead of attacking you, sometimes the Pokemon will just get distracted or stare into space. I just breathed fire in your face! Hit me! I feel like a lot of those issues could have been solved if they just gave the opportunity to use 2 Pokemon instead of 1, and I have no idea why they wouldn't just give us that option. Alright, so there we have it, the good and the bad. So, what's Reaper's verdict? Try it. Now let's be honest, if you're a Pokemon fan, you don't need much of a reason to pick up a Pokemon game. But, if you're one of those people that believe the format of Pokemon has gotten kind of stale, and want to try it from a new perspective, this is definitely a fun new way to experience something that you already know and love. This game actually has a lot of charm. I found myself taking a lot of pleasure in even some of the little things, like having my king-sized alpha Pokemon hanging out with my regular one. And the Chimecho quest is really cute. I can't emphasize enough how liberating it feels to catch Pokemon in this game. And though the battle system did have me longing for what I was used to by the time I was nearing the end of the game, I can't say I didn't enjoy trying format of battle, even if I do prefer the old one. And visually, the game looks really good. And with that, those are my thoughts on Pokemon Legends Arceus, which means it's about time to bring this review to a close. My name is D Reaper, and I'm a YouTuber for fun. Today's challenge, catch a Pokemon. Good luck, and
Notice.
Analysis machine. Why are you interrupting the end card?
Notice. Personal feeling aside, data suggests it would still be beneficial to review Pokemon Sword and Shield.
If you want a Reaper's review on Sword and Shield so bad, I have a written one floating around the line somewhere. But I'll tell you what, in the spirit of Pokemon, if we get 150 likes on this video, then I'll do the Pokemon Sword and Shield Reaper's review.
You're not planning on doing that review, are you?
Nope.